Hi, I'm Dave Finch. In this video, we'll be talking about my process for drawing hands and feet. So let's get started. So I think the human hand is probably the most difficult thing to learn how to draw because there's such a range of movement. The whole hand deforms. The fingers all curve in different directions. From a fist to pointing a finger to clawing your hand. And you need to be proficient at drawing the hand from so many different angles that I think the best way to start, and the way that I'm starting here, is just drawing the hand in the most simple possible way. And this is just very simple block shapes to break down the major areas of the hand. Uh, I've got my thumb coming off here. Um, I'm going to stay away from the wrist right now. Um, this this block shape that I'm doing is probably a little too simple to even properly attach um, the wrist. In a minute, I'm gonna get a little more complex with my shape, but I just wanted to start with something that's very, very easy to digest, something that you can get comfortable with easy and make work for you very easily. And I find, as much as this is a really simple representation, there are times that I get a little bit lost. I have trouble with a hand, and I fall back on this, and it works for me. It almost looks like cutting little blocks out of wood, the way that I'm drawing this right now. I've found, going through how-to books and that kind of thing. There are a lot of great breakdowns for heads, and there are great breakdowns for different areas of the body, but it's very difficult to break down a hand simply. So a lot of books just start, um, drawing a bunch of pictures of hands, and really wanted to try something that at least maybe would be a little bit more helpful than that. And here's a hand just angled towards you, so you get a better idea of the dimension. Now I'm going to start um, getting a little more complex and breaking up the fingers and being a little bit more gestural. But again, you can see that the same forms apply, the same forms that I'm drawing. Um, the fingers are essentially tubes once you start to separate them. Um, so you can think of the palm of the hand and the base of the thumb as a block, um, and the fingers and thumb as tubes, and the arm as a tube. I think that's very helpful to think of it in those terms. So here's a fist uh, pointed towards you, and you can see that again drawn very simply. Frankly, even drawing the thumb curved under the hand the way that I have it here, I think you can see I'm actually being forced to rethink my thumb structure a little bit. I think that works a little better the way that I erase it, but um, whenever you move the hand in any way, it just changes things so much that it can be very difficult, I think, to have a consistent form. So here I'm going to start representing the fingers more in terms of tube forms. I'm drawing this in perspective, um, coming towards the viewer. And you'll notice that the fingers um, don't come off the hand in a flat way. That because they're curved on the hand, they come out in a bit more of a fan. I'm drawing some lines for the knuckles. That's where the fingers bend. Those lines, probably not completely necessary for me to draw it there, considering the fingers are straight. But with this one, I'm gonna illustrate this a few times during the course of this DVD. But you'll notice that that finger that I just drew has a slight curve, and these fingers also have a curve. Uh, fingers shouldn't be drawn as just straight flat tubes. They have a shape to them. They widen a little bit with the knuckles and thin out between the knuckles, and if they're at rest, they'll curve downwards towards the palm naturally. And if you extend your fingers out, they'll actually have a bit of a backwards curve to them. So if you really want to make a hand have some power to it, if you're extending the fingers out towards the viewer, you want to give those fingers a bit of a backward curve, because it makes them look fully extended rather than just straight flat out, which looks a little bit inert. So here's a fist, I guess palm up, and you can see the way that I'm constructing my thumb for that one is actually very different than the way that I was. And all I'm doing that's different is I'm taking that little triangle that I had on the side of my my box, and I'm drawing it more accurately, because it slots up inside that underneath. So you can see that I've got, in this picture here, I've got my little triangle at the base of the thumb. But if you actually turn that under, it extends underneath, the way that I have it in the fist.